Welcome to the Fill Your Cups podcast. We're your hosts, Morgan
and Bailey.
Today is bonus book club episode. That's our new intro for bonus book club episode.
Yes.
So this month, what did we even read?
Pictures of You.
Pictures of You, Emma Gray, Courtney's pick. It was coming of age, romance, a little bit of mystery.
All the genres.
Yeah, kind of even a little bit like whimsical kind of book. You don't think so?
No.
Oh.
But I didn't finish it.
That's true. Yeah. So something that we really love about our book club is that we are welcoming and open to anybody, even if you don't finish or even start the book. But Bailey did start it.
I did start it. I got like 70% of the way through. I have just been so bad at prioritizing reading right now. And it has just not been what I wanted to do. And in the same week that book club was happening, I started a new season of Love Island. So I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. You
have priorities.
You sabotaged yourself.
I really did.
You said, I'm not finishing this
Yeah,
book.
I was like, I tried to finish it. Okay, I had like 2 hours left of the book, but I tried to read it in the car, and then the car conversation was too good. And I was like, well, I gotta put this down.
We had some juicy goss going on in the car.
Know. I actually don't even think it was goss. It was Jordan was talking about being a mom, and I was like, wait, tell me everything.
Yeah, it wasn't really goss. That was the wrong word.
It was goss about her son.
Just life just life updates. Yeah.
We were talking all up and down about Graham.
Yeah, 3-month-old goss. Yeah. Yeah, well, I really loved it. It was a really highly rated book in book club. And I was shocked because usually we have 2 to 3 people that show up to book club that didn't read it or didn't finish it. And this time, unfortunately, it was only you. But
I usually finish the books.
Yeah.
So.
But I do think there were a couple people that didn't read it.
Yeah.
And they didn't decide not to come because they didn't read it. They just like had other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so you weren't technically alone. But yeah, I really loved it. I was kind of surprised that it wasn't capturing you that much because it really reminded me of that Carly Fortune book that we both loved.
Every summer after, it really reminded me of that one too, except that I just felt like that one had a lot more buildup. Like this book, I just felt like it wanted you to believe in the relationship that they had before and the friendship, and it wanted you to think that they were such good best friends, but they were friends for like 6 months. And I was like, I'm sorry. I just don't think that the relationship, like I would have liked it better if they were friends since they were like 10. Mm-hmm. But then I know it would have gotten into the whole like memory thing. So I just thought it was weird that they met each other at the same time that she met her husband. And so like I know that that's why they did that. So that way he wasn't in the memories that she had at all. Yeah. But I was like, I just don't think that this is believable. And it's kind of, it kind of reminds me of, this is a niche thing, kind of, not really. But it reminds me of in Gilmore Girls, when Jess and Rory start dating and he's the worst boyfriend ever. They're only together for a little bit. And I don't know why people love him, but they're only together for a little bit. And then he comes back later and he's like, I know you better than anyone. And I'm like, what? No, you don't. And so it was just something like that where I was like, I just don't believe in their friendship/relationship.
Yeah.
That like, and I just thought it was so kind of like little baby boy of him to be so heartbroken over her still. Yeah. And they never even had anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That was my whole thing. But I didn't finish the book.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I will say after the 70% is when a lot of shit starts happening. Like a lot of stuff picks up.
Literally, I stopped reading as the little girl comes in.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's like, oh my gosh, there's all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I do get your point about the length of their relationship and whatnot. I think the only thing that makes it believable to me, and I said this in book club, but having met my husband at that age, and truly after probably 6 months feeling like, oh my God, this person knows me better than anyone, and like, and feeling like, oh, I know I'm going to be with this person forever, and like that kind of feeling, even if in a different scenario or with a different person, it could have been more fleeting and like juvenile and immature.
Yes, but that was an actual relationship and you're still with Jared. Whereas like, if you were to think about the other friends you had in high school, And if they were to come into your life now and they were like, we were friends for 6 months, I know you better than anyone. You'd be like, I am so sorry I forgot your mom's name. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
Yes, you do.
No.
Think about like all these other people. We can take these names out, but like Luke, you dated him for a little bit.
Yeah, I
He
thought
doesn't-
you were talking about friends though.
Okay, Toffee. You were such good friend. Katie Bellflower, you were such good friends with her. If they were to come back now and they were like, I know you better than anyone, you would be like, no, you don't.
I don't think they would know me better than anybody, but I still think that they would like bring things up that I don't know. It's like we've talked about past selves before
Yeah.
and how sometimes it's like really hard with people that you've known your whole life, like us even.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of things that have changed about me or that I've like worked a lot on.
Mhm.
But when I'm with someone like you or someone who knew me at like a really foundational stage of my life, it's really easy to like assume that
like that you haven't changed.
that
in
the way I thought then is the way I think now. And
Yeah.
in a lot of ways it is.
No, and I totally agree with that, but I think the fact that like he was still so hung up and so like he was really alluding to them having this huge love affair kind of thing and like being such pillars in each other's lives. And they were during those moments, but like, I don't know. I just think that I would have a problem if someone came back to me and was like, and was like, hey, we dated for 6 months in high school and like you broke my heart. And like they still held on to all these things. I'd be like, okay, dude.
No, I
You
get
got some
what you're
problems.
saying, but he didn't come at her that way.
Well, nobody would have if she had her memory. He was so mad at her. He was like scowling at her in the car and he was like, she seriously doesn't remember me. How can that be?
I've read him a lot softer than that.
That's so funny. I read him as such a little bitch.
Okay, but because he was soft or because he was
Because he was so pouty and he was so like still holding I don't know. I just have problems, I think, when people like are holding on to all this stuff it just felt like he was like one of those nice guys finish last. And he's like nice guys never get anything. And I was like, shut up.
I guess I just feel like if I were 16 and had this relationship and that person was there when my mom died and that person was there when, I don't know, like when really unfortunate deep things happened to me, then I do think that there would be an attachment. Like I thought it was really beautiful. I
know this is making it sound like I hated it. I did not hate it. I actually quite enjoyed it. It did take me a little bit to get into, but
yeah. I mean, I get the
I did
point.
quite enjoy it.
I get the points that you're making. I just didn't read it that way or take it that way. But I felt like, especially because she was there and like there was a really beautiful scene when his mom died and all of that. I felt like I could see why he'd be attached or stay attached.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, she married his brother without knowing it was his brother.
Oh yeah, that was a weird part.
That is pretty. Did you get to that part?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was going to say, like, I feel like that's something that you can't really, I get why he would hang on to that and not, it would be really hard to not ignore it. And like, maybe the moments you're talking about is like when he's like, oh, I can't resist going and looking her up every now and again or things like that. Like, yeah, that can be like kind of a little bitch move.
No, I totally get that.
But she literally is with his brother and someone that he believes to have followed in his dad's footsteps of being a terrible husband. And he was right.
No, you're totally right. I guess that I just wish that the relationship that we had gotten more from it and that I could have believed that it was so like such a pillar in both their lives.
Yeah.
But instead it kind of seemed like such a memory for him and such a thing that was like fleeting for her.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only reason. Yeah, I think that's the only thing about that. Like I just wish I had been more like fledged out. Is that how you say it? Is that the word? Fledged out?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But the part about the dad, like finding out they have the same dad and they're brothers, did you expect that? I think you were in the bathroom when we were talking about this part.
did I expect
Or did you see it coming?
I don't think I did, even though the whole thing was very One Tree Hill
It
and
was so One Tree Hill, which I did not think about until you guys said that at book club. And I was like, oh my God, it was.
yeah, it totally was. And I didn't see it coming. And I was like, oh, I didn't see it coming until like a page or two before. I was like, oh shit, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But when they did the reveal, I was like, wow,
Mhm.
wow.
So everyone pretty much agreed with you. I think there's a couple people that was like, oh, I knew it was the dad because one thing it was like whenever he talked about my biological father pays for my schooling because he's an alumni or an alumni, whatever, at the school. And a lot of people were like, that's when I put it together. But there was a part where, because you know what I'm talking about?
Paid for Drew's schooling?
Yes.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, that's how he was able to go to this like really private in uptown school. I
think I dismissed that detail.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, his mom was a single mother working like 3 jobs just to keep them afloat.
Okay.
And his dad was never in his life but paid for his schooling.
Okay.
So that was like a big part that was like oh. Yeah. But there was a part that we did not talk about. But when she first, I'm going to need like refreshers on all of their names. Was it Evie? Because you kept saying Evie?
Yeah, because her name was Evelyn.
Yes.
But
don't feel too bad about that. I've done that. I do that all the time.
I'm just saying, Evelyn means Evie. Like, you don't, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Evie does not make sense for Evelyn.
I agree. Well, this is such a side thing, but I didn't want you to feel too bad about this. You remember the book After that I had you read?
Yeah.
Okay. Her name was Teresa, but they shortened it to Tessa. So I thought her name was Teresa. And I was messed up when I found out it was Teresa. I was like, why would it not be Teresa? But I was also like a freshman in high school reading that book. So that was
names
funny.
are weird. Like, why is Richard Dick? Like, I don't.
Oh, yeah,
you know
that
what
was
I mean?
the weirdest one. I think
It's terrible.
Why did we go
it's
there?
Absolutely awful.
I completely agree, and that was probably before Dick was like a
bad name.
Yeah. But still, what does that have to do with Richard?
Yeah. Isn't there one with Henry or something like that? Or
like William and
Bill?
William and Bill. Yeah.
That one. I swear Henry is one too, but I don't know what they call him.
Maybe.
Or maybe that's the short. I don't know. I just, sometimes I'm like, everybody like laughs at me when I say Evie. And I'm like, look. Also, Evie's a cute name in my opinion.
It's really cute. I love that name.
Okay, so what were you going to say about Evie?
Anyway, the part that I noticed was when Evie first met, now what's her husband's name?
Oh.
I can't remember.
It was Drew and it was blonde jerk face.
Ollie.
Ollie,
yes. Okay, when she first meets his dad and he like comes into the room and she's like, I didn't know how to say hi to him because Oliver didn't introduce me. And okay, are you in the scene that I'm in at all?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's like, I know that he said his dad was a doctor at some point, but I don't know what he's a doctor of. So should I say like, hello, doctor, or should I say hello, sir, or whatever? And then later, Drew's talking about, oh, my mom, like all I know about my dad is that they met at the hospital. She was a nurse and he was a doctor. And I was like, it's totally going to be the same guy.
Oh,
so funny. I don't think anybody else caught that. But I was like,
probably not. But you read so many thrillers that I'm sure you catch on to things. Like, I get that way after I've read multiple thrillers. I get that way where I'm connecting dots that don't even connect.
Yeah, don't connect. Yes.
Yeah. But that means that out of the 20 dots that I connected, at least 2 or 3 of them are right. Yeah.
True. That's funny.
Yeah, no, I did not catch that. And I didn't hear anybody talk about it at book club.
No, we didn't talk about it, but I didn't want to say it and then be like, I'm a genius.
Yeah. No, if you guys are listening to this episode and you caught that, I want to know.
I also want to know.
That's awesome.
I know, it's funny. But what if it came after the whole schooling part and I was like, I'm a genius? I don't know which one comes first.
Well, then just extra context clues.
So true.
Just dropping the little goose eggs? Is that a phrase? Probably not.
Easter eggs?
Easter eggs.
Okay.
And then like goose chase. I don't know. I mix things up like that all the time.
Me too. I really want to do a segment of the podcast where, except what we should have been saving them, but every time we mess up words, we're like, wait, what's that word? Or wait, is this what it is?
Yeah.
But anyway,
I thought this book was so beautiful. I thought
Mhm.
I really liked the writing actually, and
Yeah.
Courtney said this, but someone in the group, probably Morgan Kurtz,
Mhm.
told us that the author was Australian, and
Oh
Jessa Hastings, who writes Magnolia Parks, is also
yeah.
Australian.
Oh
And
yeah.
Courtney loves Magnolia Parks, and I love Magnolia Parks.
Yeah.
You like Magnolia Parks?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, you've been
Mhm.
rereading those, haven't you?
Yeah, I just picked up the Magnolia Parks again. I'm just audiobooking it, but
Yeah.
that's how I did like the whole first book. But yeah.
Okay, because we saw it on your Goodreads, and Courtney texted me and was like, "Is Bailey hating it?" And I'm like, "She's read it before. I'm pretty sure that she
Yeah.
likes it."
Yeah.
But anyway, so since one of our favorite authors, or one of our favorite series authors, is also Australian, I think that's part of why I really liked the writing style.
Yeah.
And I did think that there were some, different usages of sentence structure and wording and things like that just
Mhm.
stuck out to me. I can't think of them at the moment, but it was funny when we were talking in the group, like several people were saying certain things were cheesy, and the parts that they were describing that were cheesy, I was like, dude, I teared up at that. Like, that hit me in my core, man.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So I thought it was really beautifully done, and
Yeah.
and in the end, which you didn't get to, like, there's
So
so
close.
much stuff that happens with, like,
yeah.
the dad murdered the mom, and that's years and years and years of being uncovered, like,
Mhm.
it's
Now, why does he do that?
because she was threatening to
Like tell Drew or something? But he
not
already
to
knew.
no, not to tell Drew, but she was threatening to tell, because it was also revealed that his dad had, like, sexually abused her.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I did not get to that part.
Like, raped her. I don't know if I'm
Yes.
using the right terms, but
I
essentially
think he
that.
raped her.
Yeah. And that she was gonna tell if he didn't. I can't remember if he didn't something.
Mm.
And so he
Poisoned her, right?
Yeah, because he was like an anesthesiologist or whatever, so he was able to do things or something like that. He worked in a field where he had medications that could cause her to sleep forever, basically, and it wouldn't come up in like a toxicology report or whatever. So that was why she was threatening, and I can't remember exactly what it was that she wanted. I don't think it was money, but I think she knew she was at the end of her life, and she wanted him to include Drew in the will, his will, and like give him, take care of him when she died, because she was on the way out.
Yeah.
And he, instead of doing that, he just killed her. So,
all right.
So yeah, so that happens, and the daughter. Oh, that was one. Isn't her name Henrietta, and they call her Harry?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of earlier.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be, because I mean Henry. You would think.
Yeah.
Cute.
So
I do like that one.
Yeah, it is really cute. But Harry was also Oliver's like bastard child, basically.
Yeah.
And
love child.
Yeah.
That's what we call them now.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm like Game of Thrones in my head.
The bastard.
Oh, she's a Snow. Anyway, no, you didn't even watch Game of Thrones, did you? Okay, never mind.
I watched like a season.
Okay, well, they call bastards unmarried children.
Yeah.
Snows are like their last names, like they're called.
So
anyway, doesn't matter. Okay, so but Harry, like, that comes up, so that's revealed, and honestly, Evie was.
I think you should stick with it.
Okay,
stand by it.
She was kind of almost excited at first when she learned about Harry, because she thought that was kind of her out in the marriage, because she thought he cheated.
Oh, yes.
But it actually was during that unfortunate 2-second blip where they were technically broken up.
Mhm.
Oh, you know what I didn't talk about in book club that I thought of at this point? Wait, were you there when she broke up with him?
Yes.
And then, okay, and she's with Drew, his mom, like, and
it's like during his funeral.
And they kiss, and she backs off because she's like, we're both, way too much is happening. And then during the funeral, Oliver manipulates her on the cliff and all that.
Yeah, it's so funny. I stopped like 2 chapters before that.
Okay.
I really just need to pick it back up. I'll be right there.
Okay.
But
So yeah. So you didn't
Mhm.
even see the cliff scene?
no.
Bro.
Because I'm like, this whole time, I'm like, why the fuck did she get back with him? Like, she wanted to get out of it. And like, and I was so proud of her because it's really hard to do that in abusive relationships. And she broke it off so cleanly. And I was like, what the fuck? And then you guys were talking about that. And I was like, oh, that's how.
Because he threatened suicide.
Yeah, threatens to kill himself, which is insane.
Insane.
But it happens.
Yes. And so anyway, so at that point,
You're talking about something you didn't bring up at book club.
oh yeah. So before the cliff scene, like in whatever 2-second blip that they're apart, he sleeps with Harry's mom.
Chloe.
And I kept thinking we were on a break, like or whatever. Which is kind of a different situation because in Rachel's eyes, they
were taking space.
they were taking space, and in Ross's eyes, they were broken up. And in this one, it's kind of like they both knew they were broken up, you know. But it just made me think of that with the baby because later when she finds out, she's kind of excited about it, and then she's like, "Well, actually,
he didn't cheat on me.
We were on a break, you know, like yeah."
So she wanted out their whole marriage,
pretty much, yeah. But she was holding out hope that maybe they would be able to conceive because she was like, even as naive, she even said, she was like, as naive as I know, like the baby's not going to solve our marriage. I want some kind of companionship because it was a classic abusive relationship where he isolated her from friends, like any friends that she was allowed to have, she was only allowed to have when he was there. You know, it was really tough to read about their marriage later.
Yeah.
Because
I need to get to that.
Yeah, she was just depressed. I just thought that the author did a really good job of showing how all of a sudden you're 30 and not me, but like
stuck in that.
You're 30 and you're like, where has my life gone? You know?
I do think the author did a really, really good job of showing the subtle abuse and how it snowballs over time of just like even with him as teenagers, like knowing her schedule, it seemed really sweet. And that it doesn't even have to be a red flag. Like maybe that is a really sweet thing, but he was doing it to know where she was at all times and to know like if she's not with me, she needs to be doing this and like kind of controlling her that way or knowing that she had plans with other people, but then begging her to stay. Like I did think she did that really beautifully. Because I think that a lot of abusive relationships you can look at from the outside and go like, why did you stay? How are you still there? Like, why did you think it would ever get better? But it's like, because there's so many other moments that you don't see or like you don't hear about. They're not as easy to remember. Yeah. And so I do think she did a really good job on that. Yeah. And the love bombing idea. I hear about that so much these days. It's a popular phrase and I've never really seen it in a believable way but in this one I was like I could definitely see how at 16 he's coming in and he's speaking the old language that you like and doing all the romantic gestures that you're looking for and like following your schedule and stuff seems so sweet and then later she's having the revelation right before she breaks it off with him like you had my schedule so that you could sit in the back of my class and see who I'm talking to. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah. I forgot about that part. I really liked whenever she started bringing up like the ways that he was in college because you don't get to see their relationship in college. You just hear about her graduating. But she's like, when we're with my friends, you're a jerk. And like, when I want to hang out with people, you say no and things like that. Yes. I thought that was good. She's like the few friends that you let me have, you know? Or like force the engagement on her pretty much. Yes. Ew. I know. And it sucks because she did say no. But he just still forced it. And then people came up and she's like, doesn't want to make a scene. And oh, it's so bad. It kind of reminded me of that Valley of the Dolls whenever it's Anne, I think is the main character when she's with the and he doesn't like force it necessarily, but he keeps being like, wear the ring, just see how it feels, like all this stuff. He's like, don't say no yet, give it a couple weeks. Right. And she's like, well, I'm gonna say no. And he's like, well, you don't know that. Yeah. It's just
Why do you even think they can do that?
Because they can.
So yucky.
Because they typically can. Look at Oliver.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
did it.
pushovers kind of not push like the women aren't pushovers, but I just mean like that's how they view them. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I can
I can
talk
do
her
whatever I
into
want.
it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I thought the writing was really well done for that sort of thing. And then I did really, at first, I was really put off by her being like a 16-year-old, like in her brain or she wasn't really a 16-year-old in her brain, but those were the last memories that she had. So at first I was like, this is probably going to be really weird.
Yeah.
But I actually thought that it was really sweet that she was reverting back to a time when she was safe.
Yeah.
And it was before she was with Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a great relationship with her parents. And, you know, just shit hadn't gone down with Oliver and Drew and like all that stuff. And so
yeah,
I did think that was really a sweet thing. And her friend,
Beth? Wait, no. Brianna.
Bree. And she remembered Bree so well. And she was like, Bree should be here.
Yeah, where's my best friend?
Yeah, my husband died. Why isn't Bree here? You know, and there's just all this stuff to uncover. And I thought I ended up thinking that was a lot more sweet than it was weird.
Yeah. Were you thinking it was weird in the way that you were, because you don't like reading about teenagers, like love lives and stuff, because that can be uncomfortable. Is that what you're talking about? Like,
yes, I just was like, am I going to have to read about her like this, her being 30, but
feeling 16.
Yes.
I got you.
Like losing her virginity or something. You know?
Yeah.
Which we kind of technically did see that scene, but they were both 16 in their brains. So it was different.
And it wasn't graphic.
No.
I think the book did a good job of that because I also don't love graphicness of high schoolers. I'm like, ew.
Yeah, if it's closed door, I'm fine.
Yeah, if it just alludes to it or whatever, you're like, okay, yeah, it happens. I really liked, so at the beginning of the book, and I think this is why it took me a little while to get into it, is because it's from a 16-year-old's perspective, and so it reads very 16. Like, I remember asking myself, do 16-year-olds really talk like this? And I was like, wait, Chloe Love does. Like,
yeah,
she totally does. Because it's very hyperbolic and it's very like dramatic and
cliche, but
very cliche and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do this the whole time. But steadily and without like really noticing it, it does mature.
It matured, yeah.
Yes, and
I
it's
agree.
like does it without her saying, I feel 20 now. Like she doesn't say that, but you start seeing the maturity.
Yeah.
And I noticed that was when I was getting less and less annoyed with the book.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I liked it too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did notice that as well. And I felt like it was a lot more tolerable because of that. Like after you get past even just like the first fourth, like it starts to change a bit subtly. And
it's like after her first flashback memory. But it's funny because I don't feel like I realized that as I was reading the book. I didn't realize that until at book club and people were talking about that. And I was like, oh, yeah, it totally does get much better as she matures and as she remembers things and stuff like that. And so I really liked that too.
Yeah. No, I really liked it. I gave it 5 stars.
I know.
I think your stars are still unknown.
Still unknown. I feel like I would have been like a 3-star or something had I finished it, which would have been the lowest because I think everybody had 4 or 5s. Maybe 1.
Morgan had a 3.5.
3.5.
Which still is a good rating.
Very good rating. Yeah, overall rating, and we had like 14 or 15 people there. So overall rating was a 4.23 average.
That's crazy. And I'm pretty sure on Goodreads it was like a 4.02. So we were even rating it on average higher than Goodreads.
Yes. I was talking to Morgan Kurtz the other day, who is my sister-in-law, so I would talk about her all the time. But she was saying that she wished that we would have kept track like last year or something because she wants to know if the women or this one would have been higher rated. And I was like, I don't know, but I felt like maybe the women, because I don't think there was a single low score on the women.
No, I don't.
But there was also a lot of less people.
There were, but there were a lot of 5s.
A lot of 5s. I gave that 5, I think.
Yeah. I think this book had more 4s than the women did. And the women had a lot of 5s. Yeah, it was really highly rated.
It was really highly rated. Oh, that was such a good book.
It was so good.
I know. Also, talking about this book makes me want to read Every Summer After again.
I know. I'm curious if you would like it as much again.
I don't know, because that book was so right place, right time for me.
Yeah.
I remember it was like not right after John had passed, but like, I don't know, 2 years later or something, but we were doing something that had to do with his ashes
Mm.
or like really figuring out beyond burials or something.
Mhm.
And at the very end of every summer after, they scatter the mom's ashes or
Aw,
whatever it is.
yeah.
And I remember just bawling and being like,
Yeah.
I just love this book, and like felt like it was really special. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
feel like I would still like it.
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll pick it back up this summer.
Yeah.
It's a good summer book.
Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about Pictures of You?
No, just besides the fact that I love the name Emma Gray. I just
Yeah,
think that's
it's
such a
pretty.
cute name.
It's really
Mhm.
pretty.
Even like first middle name.
I agree.
I really like it.
Emma Gray draws.
Shut up. That's cute. That's cute.
It is
Funny.
cute.
Well, that's
Well,
all I had.
yeah. Well, as always, we love to hear what you guys are thinking. If you're reading along, we want to know what you rated it, what your thoughts were,
Yes.
biggest points. Next month in May, book club is meeting about The Measure,
A measure.
which is by Nikki Ehrlich, and it is I loved it. It's a New York Times bestseller, but also on the cover it says perfect for book clubs. Ehrlich's The Measure is equal parts charming and thought-provoking.
Yes.
So that's Julia's pick, and she said that she's read it before, but she just thinks about it all the time. So I'm excited about that one.
I'm really excited too. It sounded like it was a popular pick within our book club. Like,
yeah, a bunch
after
of people
Julia
said
said
it was
it-
on their TBR.
yeah, or
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, I know so many people have been reading this. I've never even heard of it, but I'm really
Me
excited for
neither.
it.
You know what? It's probably not at all like this, but books that are like The Measure or something like that. I think about The Push
Me too.
a lot.
Yes. I agree. I think about The Push too.
Yeah, so I don't know what this book is about, but I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to it.
Me too. I love it.
Okay, well, let us know if you're reading along. We would love to have you, and let you tune into the next episode. Otherwise, that is our bonus book club episode for April.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's it. So we'll see you guys next month
yeah.
for the book club, but we'll also see you next week for our regularly scheduled episodes.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.